New break in a case involving a massive invasion of privacy for some big stars, including Jennifer Lawrence and Kate Upton. Hackers broke into their accounts, stole nude pictures, and then leaked them onto the internet.
Apple offered an explanation today about how private and very intimate photos of celebrities were stolen by computer hackers.
But overnight, the young Oscar winner took center stage for a different reason after dozens of nude and risque photos of the actress appeared on an anonymous online image sharing site. And with them, similar photos reporting to show supermodel Kate Upton, singers Rihanna and Ariana Grande, and more than 100 other famous women in what many call the biggest celebrity hacking ever.
Getting your nudes leaked is an awful event for anyone, but imagine you're a celebrity known by millions all across the world. It makes it at least 10 times worse. But that's the exact scenario that happened for over 100 different celebrities during the years 2012 to 2014. This series of events is known as Celebgate in the online world, and today we're going to dive into the complete backstory of how it happened and who was involved. There were 4 people involved in the hacking and posting of these celebrities' nudes. The first one is named Ryan Collins. At the time of the hack, Ryan was around 36 years old, so today that would mean he's around 43 years old. Unlike the people I usually cover, this man Ryan has basically no information about his upbringing or childhood on the internet. But let's talk about what we do know. Ryan was from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and he was married and a father of 2 kids. It's been reported that Ryan went to a high school in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and judging by his age, I can assume he probably graduated in the year 1998 to 1999. After graduating high school, he went on to attend James Madison University, and a few years later, he graduated in the year 2003 with a bachelor's degree in integrated science and technology. When Ryan finished college, he worked a low-level sales job in Philadelphia for around 3 years. He also worked as a logistics manager and an art director, but his most recently listed job on his now deleted LinkedIn profile was working as a creative project manager for a digital marketing firm known as Lystrack, based out of Lititz, Pennsylvania. But that's not all. Ryan was a jack of all trades. He was even a self-described personal chef. He even created a company called Aprons Optional, where he would provide chef services to people in the Pennsylvania area. As you can see, the business has its Lancaster address listed still to this day. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem like he got much business though. As you can see, he was only hired 1 time in the 14 years this business has been listed, and he only has 1 employee. Just looking at all of this information, you can tell that Ryan wasn't some type of protege hacker who was doing this all for money or clout or something like that. He was a regular guy with a regular family and a regular job who just wanted to see some boobs. Ryan was able to gain access to all of these massive celebrities' accounts with a pretty simple phishing scheme. All he did was pretend to be Apple or Google employees and send them emails, getting them to reveal personal information about their accounts, which then gave him complete and utter access to everything they have. Whether it was nude photos, unreleased songs, or pictures of their cat, Ryan could see everything. If you don't know how phishing scams work or what they are, I'll explain. Phishing scams are when someone sends a message that looks like it's from a legitimate company or website that usually contains a link that will direct the user to a fake website, and they'll then enter their account information or credit card information, whatever they're prompted, into that fake website, and the hacker or scammer will see that and be able to use their account. In total, there were over 100 celebrities who had their nudes leaked during Celebgate, so I can't go through the entire list one by one. Instead, I'm going to name a few A-list celebrities and then throw up the entire list in one picture on the screen. A few of these A-listers include Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Upton, and her husband Justin Verlander, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kaylee Kuko, Kirsten Dunst, and the singer Jill Scott. But these are just the ones who actually confirmed the picture's validity. There are a bunch who denied them adamantly. Among the celebrities who deny the photo's authenticity include Ariana Grande, Victoria Justice, Mckayla Maroney, and Nick Hogan. Although they initially denied the fact that those photos were real, Mckayla Maroney later said that they were legitimate, but she was underage when the photos were taken. And Victoria Justice later said that she was pursuing legal action and found the photos to be a huge invasion of her privacy. So to me, that means those photos were real because she was pursuing legal action. And now that we've covered a few of the biggest names involved, here's the entire list of every celebrity who was hacked. But as I've stated earlier, Ryan wasn't the one who actually leaked the photos. All he did was the phishing scam. So that brings me to our next character. Meet Christopher Brannon, age 31 at the time of the hack and living in Richmond, Virginia. Chris was using the same method of phishing that Ryan was using. So he was sending fake support emails to people and then getting access to their accounts. But the difference here is Chris didn't only hack celebrities, he even hacked non-celebrities. You see, he was a special needs teacher at a local high school where he lived in Richmond, Virginia. The school he taught at was known as Lee Davis High School, and Chris chose to target some of those students at school as well as his own sister-in-law. And because these were high schoolers, they were all minors, including his sister. This 36-year-old man was phishing the minors at his school that he worked at to get their nudes. Absolutely sick in the head. Me personally, I don't see why someone with a good stable job such as Chris would do something like this, and it seems he felt the same way. Chris told the press that he didn't know why he did the things he did, and when he was asked why he would risk his job for this, he said, quote, "These are questions that I've spent a lot of time asking myself," end quote. He later apologized for his actions and said he suffered from anxiety and depression and became addicted to pornography. Quote, "I let addiction take control of me, and I deeply regret that," end quote. It's been reported that Chris didn't just hack and phish these people. He also leaked and sent their images around to people he knew and just random forums online. The first site that really gained traction with these leaks is called 4chan, and if you don't know what 4chan is, you are so lucky. The website 4chan is one of the biggest image boards on the internet, and the people that hang out in that forum are absolute degenerates. On this website, you can find threads that range from normal day-to-day stuff, and then it takes a turn and you find stuff like beheadings, people getting burned alive, cartel assassinations, and some of the most vulgar porn on the planet. The average 4chan user hates women, hates society, hates everything, and has very little to no accountability. So they all just sit in an echo chamber of delusion and spread lies all day long. So when people like this get a common enemy, it becomes very dangerous very fast. Once these photos hit 4chan, they spread like a wildfire to the rest of the internet, and everyone saw them all across the planet. Now, part of the reason these pictures spread so fast was obviously because of the celebrities that were involved, but also because of how many pictures they had and how fast they were released. This was 2 years of phishing scams that they used to gather these pictures, and then in one day, they dropped every single photo into 4chan. And soon after they blew up on 4chan, you could find these pictures on Reddit, Imgur, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. They were on every social media website on the internet. The third man involved in this hack is named Edward Majerczyk. He was 29 at the time and he was living in Chicago. Edward formerly worked as a customer service rep for Commonwealth Edison, an energy delivery company based out of Chicago. It's been reported that he was an introvert, he was single, and he didn't have many friends. And like Chris, he said he was suffering from anxiety and depression and was addicted to pornography. Like Ryan, Edward was not accused of leaking the photos though. He was just accused of phishing and actually stealing the photos. He also apologized for his actions and was quoted saying, "I will never stop striving to do better and to be better," which in my opinion doesn't seem like much of an apology. Seems like a pretty generic response for someone in the situation, but oh well. The fourth and final person we're going to talk about that was involved with this hack is named George Garafano. He was 26 at the time of the hack and was living in North Branford, Connecticut. We don't know for sure what George did for work, but based off this LinkedIn profile, I think it's safe to say we can assume he was a customer service representative at People's United Bank. Now, the reason I think this profile on LinkedIn belongs to George is because the name is the exact same, all the posts have been removed, as well as the profile picture, and the location that it's set to is only 10 minutes away from where he was from. Not only is George being accused of participating in the phishing and theft of these nude photos, but he's also being accused of actually leaking the photos onto Reddit and other sites like that. George not only posted these online, but he was also reported to be selling them to people as well as trading them for other pictures. George has been quoted saying, "It will take me a while to forgive myself for this, and I am disappointed in myself." He also said, "I feel remorse for anyone that could have been affected by this on any scale, public or private. It is a part of my life that I will always regret, as it has never been a reflection of who I am as an individual." And his older brother Ralph has been quoted saying that George's guilt is like an emotional prison. As of today, every single one of them has been fired from their previous jobs and sentenced to prison. Ryan Collins was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for a felony violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. He was taken into custody immediately after sentencing. In May of 2016, he pled guilty to one count of unauthorized access to a protected computer to obtain information, but by now he's he's been out of prison for a while, as this happened back in 2016. Christopher Brannon actually got a plea deal and was sentenced to 34 months in prison, but he most likely got out much sooner on account of his plea deal. A few years prior to this hack, Christopher was actually convicted of unauthorized access to a protected computer and aggravated identity theft, so I'm not sure how he actually got a plea deal this time. Edward Majerczyk pleaded guilty in September of 2016 to a felony violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and again, like Ryan, one count of unauthorized access to a protected computer to obtain information. Edward was sentenced to 9 months in prison, but he also had to pay back $5,400 in restitution to one of the victims that he leaked. On April 11th of 2018, George Garafano pleaded guilty to one count of unauthorized access to a protected computer to obtain information, and he was sentenced to 8 months in prison. And then upon supervised release, he was sentenced to 60 hours of community service. By now, most of the celebrities that were affected by this have stopped talking about it, but when this was still fresh back in 2014, Jennifer Lawrence was quoted saying that this is not a scandal, it is a sex crime. And honestly, I kind of agree with her, but I don't think they should get to skip out on the punishments of being a hacker too. There should be some sort of law that protects people from hackers who go after nude photos and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, these pictures will be on the internet forever. No matter what they do, they can never get past this. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't keep any photos on your phone that you can't risk losing, because at the end of the day, it's always possible. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you. Have a good one. Peace.